As a dynamic and engaging speaker, Dr. Ingram captivates audiences with her insightful and thought provoking presentations. Her ability to connect with individuals on a deep emotional level has earned her a reputation as an influential and sought after speaker at prestigious conferences and events nationally and internationally. I know you always rock Dr. Sandra Ingram, so I cannot describe. So it's long way to go with our conferences. So yes, the stage is all yours. Welcome on stage, Sandra Ingram.
Oh, well, thank you so very much for having me and for having this opportunity. Uh, so, I want to tell you that today we're going to have a little talk, and it's almost going to be like a fireside chat. And I'm going to give you some information. So, today I'm going to speak on hear, speak, and lead, empowering leadership through masterful communication. And all of us, we're all leaders here and we're mastering our communication. But I like to come from a different sort of angle, if that's okay with you. And so I have a question for you. As leaders, how many of you would like to have employees competing to have you as their leader, and they're competing like crabs in a basket because you are such a dynamic leader? Now, if that resonates with you, you can put a yes in the chat. And so, what I like to ask you today is I want to tell you a little bit about my story and how I teach. I am a uh, metamorphosis coach in either in leadership or relationship, and metamorphosis is change. And so we know that when we change like a butterfly, something has to die so that something can live. So in my little scenario story here, it started when I was in college. I was about 20 years old, and I got a chance to go to Harvard to take some classes. And I'm so excited. I go. I'm in a class with 300 people, and I'm the only African American in there. And so, but that was okay. And I was taking genetics, doing well in the class, and the teacher came in one day and he wanted to know, just ask people what colleges and universities they went to. So, of course, I was one of the ones I was the only African American in there with the 300 people. So he asked me. And of course, I went to HBCU. And if you don't know that, that is a historically black college. And the professor was offended. And he said that there was no way that I could understand what he was teaching. Well, I want you to know that I'd already taken 3 tests, but that was not good enough for him. But I want to tell you the thing that stayed with me, and this is what I want to talk about as leaders, and it is self aware and getting rid of those things that make you not authentic. He told me after class that I would have to take all my tests orally because he didn't trust me to write. And so I cried and I went and I came to the office and I did all his tests orally and I passed it. But in the meantime, he had told me, you know what? You don't know what you're talking about. It is no way from your background that you could be anybody. You don't know. You're nothing. You're nobody. And of course, that crushed me. But I put that on the back burner. I graduated from school and here I am 10, 15 years later, trying to get into some leadership positions. And I get to entry level, I'm doing fine. But then when I'm trying to go up the ladder, something is happening, something is holding me back. And I'm asking, what can I do? I'm taking all these leadership courses. And I had people that groomed me for leadership, but I could not get the job. And so what I did was I said I had to go in, and I said, well, what is wrong with me? If everybody else is getting, I need to check me out. And sometimes we have to check our own self out. And so, what I found out after much research and reading, coaches, spending money, that what was wrong. I was not self-aware. I did not know who I was. And you cannot lead other people when you don't know who you are. If you can't lead you, then you are not a good leader. You can be a leader, but there's a difference between being a good leader and then a great leader. So I wanted now then I'm going like what is leadership? And a lot of times in my coaching, we teach people. People say you need to be more self-aware, but they never tell you how to do it. They tell you you need to use your voice, but they don't tell you how to do it. So the point is to know how to do and practice self-awareness, because there is a professor at Harvard University, and this was supported by Harvard, that Dr. Tara Wells said this is your quote: in today's world, effective leadership is more important than ever, because we have leaders but we don't have effective leaders. Among the qualities that define successful leaders, self-awareness stands out as one of the most critical. Did you hear that? Self-awareness. By research, this came out in September of 2024, that if you don't practice self-awareness, you can stand out. That's one of the most critical things that you can do to be a leader. And so I know your first question. I got it. And tell me this. Am I so to be self-aware? People tell you, but what is it? What is self-aware? How do I become self-aware? And I tell you, is learning yourself from the inside out. You have to focus on what's on the inside of you. You have to focus on the things that make you you. You have to focus on the things that triggers you. That is what you're being. The self-awareness is not about yourself being self-aware of other people. It is you being self-aware of yourself, because once again, what's in you will come out. Now, you may not ever say a word, but you can give a nasty look, and you can give a nasty snip answer. Let me ask you this. Think about this. Have you ever said something to somebody and snapped at them, and then you're going like, oh my God, where did that come from? That wasn't me. If you Was that you? Have you ever done that? Why am I feeling like that? These are the things that we have to explore. That's your self awareness on the inside of you. It is critical. And I do want to say a lot of people think if you're self aware, that means you're a wimpy boss and that you have to be all soft and cushiony. No. It means that you have to mean what you say what you mean, be focused, and know what you want. Don't change your mind. Know your goals, know your vision, know your beliefs. The reason sometimes, and this was my thing, and it may not have been yours, but it was like wishy-washy. We are wishy-washy. And then, and I know this has happened to more than me, we are upset when people try to help us to get in the right lane, because we don't know who we are. We only know who we think we are. Well, can I tell you that who you think you are and the authentic, real you are not the same in 99.9% of cases, because we have visions of grandeur about ourselves, and we can do this and we can do that, and that's fine as long as it's the real you. So you have to be authentic. Understand you have to get to your goals and your strength. And we all have limitations. I would love to be able to work 24 hours a day and get all the work my boss wants and lead my people and they're all ran and nobody's on it. It's not going to happen. It's okay. We have limitations, and we have to learn to work within the limitations that we have. And we have to learn. Remember, we're going to lead, and we're going to hear, and we're going to hear, lead, and speak. Now, the hearing is the part that will take the longest time. We resist hearing. We resist understanding who we are. We have to. That's why you need a coach, somebody to help you, because you gotta be peeled like an onion. You have layers and layers and layers. Do you know that trauma that you might have had when you were 10 years old is still with you? And that you may be reacting because the little girl in you is still hurt from something somebody said years and years ago, and it has never healed. So you don't want your leadership style to come out of trauma or hurt. You want it to be authentic. So remember, learn leaders who understand themselves make the best leaders. That means that's a different kind of work that you have to do. That is looking at you. And Michael Jackson said, look at the man in the mirror. Well, that's the man in the mirror that's stripped down. No makeup, no clothes, no jewelry. Who are you? If you could describe who you are in one word, what would that word be? And would it be a word that you use as who you think you are or who you really are? Can you imagine being able to go home at night and just be happy, as opposed to this? You're at work, you're wonderful, you're great, you're strong, you're leading, and you're going home at night sobbing in your pillow. Why? Because somebody said something to hurt you. The boss said something to hurt you. He did, and the people that you're leading said something to hurt you. Why? Because we have unresolved issues, and we need to work through the unresolved issues. And you know what happens? Have you ever heard yourself? And I wouldn't, if you ever heard yourself do this, oh my goodness, I sound just like my mother. That's what she used to say. Really? That's because it's what you know. And it was how you were brought up. And things that you're not conscious about. Remember, we have a conscious level and we have a subconscious level. Okay? And the subconscious level holds all our hurts and our traumas until they're triggered. All right. So we need to know our triggers. And to know your triggers means that you have to know who the real you is. And I want to tell you, that takes some work. And you have to get, I call it the root out. Every situation. If you don't get the root of the problem out of what's causing you to say things, do things, look things, and I want to tell you, if you think that you're hiding stuff and people can't see it, trust me, they can see through you. You envision yourself with an armor on, and they see you in a see-through dress. Okay? They see through you, but you think they don't. And so it troubles us. So how do we get past that? Remember, you have to learn to hear. Not just hearing is not listening. They're two different things. Okay. So when you hear, the sound bounces off of your ear. When you are talking to people and leading people, you have to listen with your emotion, with some empathy. That doesn't mean you got to be all soft and cussing, but you have to hear people's heart, because you know what? Just like you have issues, they have issues too. What my mom would tell me, from my mouth to your ear is a long way. So whatever may be good in my culture may not mean the same thing in yours. So when you're talking to people and you're leading people, you have to be your authentic self. Say it like it is to you, but be when they hear it and say, no, 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 no. That's not what you said. Then you ask again, what do you think I said? Because it's not that they're being disagreeable with you. It's just that in their world, That is what you said meant. So we have to be cognizant. You have to speak from your core. You cannot speak from your belly and your core and your inside if you don't know who you are. And sometimes we have to get those roots out because the stuff that's in us is not good. It can be some nasty stuff that we need to get rid of. But that's a purging, and that's a good thing, because when we can lead from a space of clarity. Align your insides with your outsides. Align your inside, what you're feeling, with what's coming out of your mouth. Lead with empathy. It's okay. Connect with your team leaders. If you are a leader, and as people, and not just professionals. Mean what you say and say what you mean. You can be authoritative in a respectful way. If you need to get a job done, the job needs to get done. If and this is the thing that why we can't be a good leader, because we don't want to take criticism, and we don't want to take people saying something. But no. That's what I'm. If you're wrong, you're wrong, and it is okay, because I have not met the perfect man yet. The only one that I know that's ever been here is Jesus Christ, and he's gone. Okay, so you are not perfect. If you make a mistake, own up to it. It is okay. There are 3 steps to lead with intention. We have to lead with clarity. Okay, we have to choose our words that align with our values. So here we go. It's work to get self-awareness. You gotta do your beliefs. You gotta know what you value, what your core values are, what your beliefs are. And you have to be consistent. And it's just like dealing with children. Children need consistency in their life. If you tell them no dessert to after dinner, then you don't change it up. It's no dessert to after dinner. I was a teacher for 20 years. Trust me, they like consistency. And you can be respected if you lead with tough love. Say what you mean what you say. If you make a mistake, on up to hear, listen to people. Don't be so dogmatic that when they come in and say, I had a flat tire, you had a flat tire yesterday. Well, you don't know. Might have been riding on 4 bare tires, and the next one tomorrow might go flat. Just listen and hear. And I want to talk about some barriers that keeps us from being our self-awareness, which keeps us from hearing, which keeps us from leading, and which keeps us from speaking with authority and power. And one barrier is the imposter syndrome. We're always trying to be somebody we're not. Be who you are. You don't need to be like Susie. You are great. There is greatness in you. Go inside and pull out your own greatness. Be different. Be you within the confinements that you have to be. And please, let's not judge ourselves. Other people judge us enough. That's a barrier. You've made mistakes, and if you keep on breathing, you're going to make some more. And it's okay. Navigate your emotions. So please, that means to keep a check on your emotions. And that's when it comes, you need to work with somebody so you can find out what your triggers are. Because if somebody says something and you get all mad, you need to stop and check out, why am I mad because they said that? What emotion did that stir up in you? Okay. So that is work that you have to do to get to your authentic self. So I tell you, when I went through all these things and I wanted to learn how to be better, when I started my coaching system, I came up with my own system to help me to be a better leader and to move myself forward. And it has worked. And now I can teach others how to move forward in weeks instead of years like it took me. And believe me, that is a wonderful thing. And I call it the trifecta leadership system. And the first thing is, you've heard this before, is inner clarity. You have to know who you are. You have to be clear on who you are, clear on what you work. Then you have to have intuitive listening. You can't just hear. You have to listen intuitively. When you're looking at people and talking to people, look at them. Have you ever, and maybe this has never happened to y'all, but to me, I've called in and the boss calls me in and he's asking me all these things to explain, and I'm explaining, and he's going like this. Okay. So he ready for me to be quiet. But if you call somebody in, oh, and I had another one that just tap. Okay. So that means you're tired of me. Don't be that. If you have something else to do or you didn't expect it to go so long, then you say, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to reschedule and we'll come back in, but we'll figure that out. But you'll have time to finish what you said. That is on respect. It is not doing this like here because you are in charge. What is making, who did that to you when you were a kid? Who did that to you when you were in grade school, high school? Who did it to you? What did they say that triggered what that emotion that you got mad? And like I said, it's okay that they needed to leave, or you needed to leave. Just let them know. And then we have the last one was intentional speaking. Speak with attention. Align your words with what you really mean to say. And, I have been a leader. I have worked with leaders. They're so vague. You don't know what they're talking about. You're scared to move. To do if you do this, if that's going to be right, and then they won't tell you if you do this. Don't. That is not a leader that's impactful and effective. Everybody can lead. Everybody's not effective. And you want to be an effective leader. So when I tried this system, what did I finally discover? The payoff was, oh my God, I felt so happy at the end of the day. I wasn't buzzing with people all day. I was carrying a load all day, wondering why they said this, wondering why the boss said this, wondering why the CEO said this, wondering how the people that work, oh my God. And it's too much to carry. And there was freedom when I learned who I was and how to deal with who I was. And I want to tell you, and when is the time to start working on yourself and getting better? When is it time for you to learn to hear, to lead, to speak, to lead? When is the time? And the time is now. You've already wasted too much time. You've already missed out on some jobs that you should have had because you didn't understand who you were. It's time to find out who you were. A coach that I work with, her name is Aline Waddle, and this is her quote: procrastination is the assassination of your destination. Okay? Procrastination is the assassination of your destination. Start now. You've procrastinated too long already. So, for the recap, I want you to know that I want you to know yourself. This is how we hear, we speak, and we lead. You have to know who you are. That's the first thing. Speak with intention, not ugly, not with gruff, not with sarcasm. Speak with intention and listen to understand. If you have issues, the people you work with have issues. Now, one thing about self-awareness, I want to tell you, you don't, when you're leading, and we all know this, you don't tell you the people you work with everything that's going on with you, right? Right. Yeah, don't do that. But this is pertaining to the things at work, but you cannot separate you from work. They're not two people, one person, and you have to know that. So, my quote for success is this: success is not determined by the road you travel, but how you travel the road. That's what we want to do. We know now. And you have plenty of book learning, all the steps, you have been to all the gurus about leading and knowing what to do, and you're still not there because of this self awareness that you haven't developed yet. So, as leaders, we have the power to create environments where people feel seen, heard, and valued. By leading with authority, we foster cultures where each voice matters and trust flourishes. Trust me, if you're a leader and people think their voice matter, oh yeah, they're going to be with you. They might not even like you, but they will follow you and they will do what you say because you made them feel valuable. So on today, thank you so much. And on today, I'm going to have a free bonus for you. And it is a checklist. And it is called Becoming an Authentic Leader Checklist. And you can go to my website, www.dringram.com. Excuse me, www.dringramlifecoach.com, and just fill out the contact information, and I will send you this free bonus, this checklist. And it is for you to go through to check, and you can see when you finish this checklist, it's very important. You will see where you are in your self-awareness. And then also, I have, if you really want to know where you are, I have a 21-day challenge, okay, for leadership and moving your needle from where you are now, that in 21 days, you will see a difference. And it will help you to move forward and makes it. I know I've tried it and I've done it. So thank you. So if you want the 21-day challenge, www.dringramlifecoach.com. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Wow, I know you always rock the stage, Dr. Sandra. So
Huh?
yes, you always rock the stage. So
Oh,
this so this time also you have proved the same. So thank you so much for the continuous support, Dr. Sandra. So here is the question from our audience. What was the key insight or turning point that helped you develop greatest self awareness and overcome the self doubt you faced early in your career?
okay. So think of me. So they want to know what made me turn and find out what how. All right. Well, what it really that was a process because I wanted to know what was holding me back from getting in these positions when everybody's telling you you're great, you're doing this, you're doing that. Well, if I'm great, why can't I move up to the next level? But I'll tell you what I had to do. If you want to be the CEO of a company, be the CEO of your home. There you go. Try to help be the CEO of the Sunday school. We have to get practice. And when I realized that, I didn't say this, I didn't because I didn't. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you this. When I was growing up, this is the turning point. This is where things changed in my life. I was in church and we were having singing and praise and worship, and my mind went back to when I was a little girl and we used to sing a song, and the song said, "It's me, it's me, it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Not my brother, not my sister, but it's me, oh Lord." And so I began to pray, what do I need to do to change me? What can I do? I have no idea. So what I did is, like I said, I began to research and I began to people that were relationship coach and leadership coach. I began to seek them. And so when they were giving me all the other stuff that I was doing, and then someone finally said that you need inner healing because the traumas that we grow up with, they affect us. And unless we understand them and get them under control, then they will always be there. But a light bulb has to go off. That was the light bulb that changed what I was doing and I was thinking. When I realized it was me, and I couldn't blame other people. And so I had to find out internally how to do that. And I also teach classes on inner healing. It is so profound because, especially we as women, we are broken on from the inside out, and we are such wonderful, wonderful masqueraders. People don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. And I tell people this, and I had to realize this. I can't get help if I'm not real with myself. Do you understand? I've been married 41 years, but the only one thing my husband knows is what I tell him. He doesn't know anything else. What people do, we keep 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% of who we are to ourselves, and we only let other people know 10, 15%. But that's what happened. That realization that it was me. And then I had to find out what had to do to take me and to tell you that road from inner healing to get the roots out was very hard and difficult. But it
Wow.
has to do.
I'm just got involved with your answer. So you really drew the audience today, always with your presentations, Sandra. So thank you so much for your great speech with this Global Virtual Summit 2024. So we are expecting the same for our future conferences as well. For your continuous support with us, we need speakers like you to motivate, to encourage other women who are participating in this global platform. So this it is the platform where the women from different countries from all over the world will be attending and sharing their inspiring and motivational messages. Each speaker has their unique way of presenting.
Yes,
Yes. So yes, thank you so much for joining and keep supporting and keep engaged with the other speakers as well and post your
yes.
questions. Have a nice day. Bye.
Right. And thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.